Hashtag meal prep. Let's go. Let's make a taco. You need to try it. Hola, busy familia. Busy mommy here, and today we're gonna make this giant pork butt. We're actually gonna make carnitas. I love carnitas. The reason why we're doing it this way is because hashtag meal prep. So a lot of people say, you know, to be successful in a lifestyle change, you should meal prep. Meal prep for me is very difficult. I have issues with eating the same thing every day. It's just tough for me, especially when it becomes a main meal like dinner or, you know, lunch sometimes. I've been having a shake every day, which has been fine so far. But like meat and stuff, I can't eat the same thing. So I don't know why, it's just a thing. So when I make a protein that I'm gonna use multiple times in a week, I make something like a pork butt, and then I change it up for different meals. So I shred it up and I put it on salad. I'll eat it with a taco. I'll have it on one of my cheese tortillas. I'll make a low carb tostada. You can even scramble it with eggs and make like a carnitas omelet. It's really good. You can take something as versatile as this cheap pork meat. So the pork shoulder, pork butt. You can even make like low carb barbecue sandwiches with it. You can make carnitas. So I mean, really, honestly, you can make anything. But I always make it the same way. This is a huge piece. It's only $11, and this will feed, like, I usually make this and then I freeze it once it's made, and then I put it in baggies for like whenever I want to eat it. But yeah, this will last. This is probably like a month's worth of meat. And I used to make it in the crock pot. I would start it probably around 4:30 or 5, right before we ate dinner, and then I would leave it all night until the next morning. That's how long it would take to get super tender. I want the bone to fall off. I want it to be super delicious, and that's what I used to do. Now, I have an R2D2 Instant Pot, so I use that, and it takes literally 2.5 hours. I mean, what? So let's prep it. Well, before we prep it though, and before we make this, I'm gonna ask you to do something. Will you hit that like button and subscribe for me? It helps me out, makes me super happy when I see it, and I would appreciate you. But let's get started. Are you ready? All right, so I started this already. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this big piece of fat off. Some people like to keep it. I don't like it to get super oily. I do love pork fat. It's really delicious. And you can use this to cook some of the meat. So like what I'll do sometimes is take a piece of that, get it in my saute section, but the rest of this is going away. I don't use it. You can if you want to. As you see, I left a little bit on here. That's totally okay. I want a little bit on here. And then I usually just slice it up a little bit. I had to cut a chunk of this off so that it would fit in my Instant Pot because it's so huge. But we're going to season it all the same way. Seasonings that I'm going to use are my adobo seasoning, which is my homemade seasoning. There is a video of it if you want to make it yourself on my YouTube channel. I also have it linked below if you want to make this seasoning yourself. It is my favorite seasoning. It's delicious. It makes everything taste so good. So I add this all over. And you want to do a lot because the thing is this is a lot of meat and it's going to take a while to get all absorbed in there. And then I do the sides and just make sure you get it all saturated. All right. Oops. And spill stuff everywhere. All right. Then I add some of my taco seasoning. So this is just a mix of like dry onions, paprika, some just other seasonings, a lot of cumin. You can choose your own taco seasoning. You can just add more cumin. Some paprika. I just like the flavor that gives. It gives like a little bit of a smokiness, which is why I like adding my taco seasoning to it and giving it that yummy flavor. Again, it seems like a lot, but I promise you it's not a lot of seasoning because look how big this is. You need a lot. It's got to absorb. All right, so what I do is, since I told you I put a piece of fat in here to get it started, you give a little bit of oil to the pan. Get that moved around. And now I'm going to sear this for a second, just because I think it adds a little bit of flavor when you sear it. So we're gonna let that sear on one side while I go wash my hands and clean up part of this mess because, ew. I'll be back. All right, let's flip her over. All right, the other side is searing. Guess what? I gotta wash my hands again. We're gonna add this piece of meat to the side here, and we'll get a little bit of color on the side of that. And then I'm gonna clean off my cutting board, and then we're gonna cut up the other ingredients we're gonna throw in here. Then we're gonna set it and forget it. So let's go. All right, let me clean this up. This whole video is just about cleanup. Let's prep everything else we need. I got about 6 or 7 garlic cloves. We're gonna throw these in whole just like that. If I can pick them up, right in there. Then we're gonna cut up an onion. I do about half of a yellow onion. I like the sweet yellow onion. It's one of my favorites, so I like it. All right, we're gonna cut off part of the onion. Then we're gonna peel. I like to leave the butt of the onion because it makes it easier when you're cutting because it holds it all together. All right, and then I'm gonna cut these into giant pieces. I don't want them too small because when you do them too small, they kind of disintegrate in 2.5 hours. So I like to cut them in bigger chunks like that. So you're gonna put half an onion in there. If you want a little bit more onion, you can, but I do half an onion. I like to kind of put it in little crevices there. Let it get in there with the garlic. All right, that's good. Then I have half of a jalapeno left. I'm gonna cut it like this. This is completely optional, but I think it adds a little bit of heat depending on the jalapeno that you do, and I like it. And then I'm gonna throw in some bay leaves. So I put in about 4 bay leaves. I got some broken ones. I'm gonna take some of my bouillon, chicken bouillon. You can use chicken stock instead of water, but for me it's just easier to do the bouillon. So I do about 1 tablespoon of bouillon, and then we're gonna throw 1.5 cups of water. It depends, sometimes 1 to 1.5. There'll be a lot of liquid that comes out of this meat because it's so nice and tender and delicious. And then we're gonna get the lid. We're gonna cover her. I say her, it's a him, right? Because it's R2-D2. Aw, he's so cute. I still think they missed an opportunity to make that R2-D2 noises. So Instant Pot creators, if you're watching this, can you make me an R2-D2 one that has the noise? Because I think it should do the noise when it does it. I'm just saying, missed opportunity. All right, so make sure that is not set to vent. I'm just wiping off the top. Make sure that it's not set to vent. Close it up, and then you're gonna do pressure cook. So I'm gonna turn it so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm gonna cancel from the saute, and then I'm gonna hit pressure cook. I'm gonna do 2.5 hours because I like it super fall off the bone. Technically, you can do probably 1.5 hours and you should be fine, but I like it super, super tender. So 2.5 hours, and that's it. It'll start to heat up. Technically, it doesn't start for probably about 10 minutes, so it's really like 2 hours and 40 minutes. It starts to prep itself, and then you're good to go. So now it's gonna start to build up pressure when it says on, and then you're just gonna leave it. That's it. All right, I'm gonna clean up, get everything else ready for the tacos tonight. Guess what? Magic! We're gonna vent now, ready? It's like my favorite part. It's just so satisfying. Have it vent. Get all that steam out so I can get started, but we gotta get what I'm putting on the tacos, right? So we're gonna chop up some cilantro. All right. I mean, this is too much. I'm like the only one that eats cilantro here. My siblings do, but no one else does. Then we're gonna cut up some cebolla, aka onion. Let's do our Spanish lesson. Cebolla, onion, cilantro. I'm just waiting because I'll get that one comment. I've been getting these random comments, and I'll get a comment where it's like, she doesn't even speak Spanish, to which I respond, claro que hablo español, mi primer idioma es español. which means, of course, I speak Spanish. My first language was Spanish. Or I'll get like, she's trying too hard to pretend she speaks Spanish. And I'm like, that's my first language, people. Sorry, I say cilantro instead of cilantro, and taco instead of taco, and tortilla instead of tortilla. Okay, I'm getting aggressive. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get aggressive. It just kind of gets me when people, I don't know, maybe because I'm so proud. My name is Alejandra. Like, I'm so proud of my heritage. I'm Puerto Rican and Mexican. Cilantro and cebolla ready. And earlier I made another video where I made some jalapeno tortillas. So I'm gonna use this cheese tortilla shell and prepare this to come on. Are you ready? Beep, beep, beep. Pretend that it made the R2D2 noise, because that should be an R2D2. Okay, sorry. If you could smell what I can smell right now, you would be so hungry. Ugh! I might drool. I'm sorry. Wow. Amazing. I'm gonna use my rainbow fork. I can't even lift it with the fork because it falls apart. So I like to leave it getting warm here, or staying warm in the juice. There's so much juice in here and it's gonna make it taste even better. But it's literally falling off the bone. I can't even pick any up. Ouch! It's just so hot. Anyway, here's the bone coming right out. I'm just gonna get rid of that. I'm so scared it's gonna fall off. It just breaks apart. Which is what you want. But not when I'm trying to grab it, because normally I would use tongs, but apparently I am not succeeding. But I don't really even need to cut this, to be honest with you. It just, I mean, does that not look amazing? Oh. Let's make a taco. All right, here's my taco shell. Throw some of this shredded meat in here. Just a little bit of that juice. Some cebolla, some cilantro. Before we take a bite, you should totally like, subscribe. Comment below with your favorite taco. What would you make with all this pork? All right, you ready? Cheers. I always do my little dance. It is, ooh, the jalapeno on the tortilla has a kick. Woo! It is smoky, flavorful, so good. You need to try it. It didn't take that long either. Phenomenal, and you can take this as a base for many things. Eat it by itself for some tacos. Mix a little bit of sugar-free barbecue sauce, make some barbecue pulled pork. Throw it in a salad and make a nice salad. Eat it just by itself. Make some toast, make a sandwich, make whatever you want, tostadas, whatever. Honestly, it's very versatile. Again, it freezes really well once you let it cool down. You put it in Ziploc baggies and freeze it in the amount that you're gonna eat for the week and enjoy. It is phenomenal, and I hope you try it. Let me know. I'll see y'all next time. I'm just gonna eat. It's so good. This jalapeno though is giving me a run for my money. I'm gonna start crying because it's so good. Just kidding, it's because it's so spicy. Love y'all.